Hello again, everyone. Hope you are well on this Thursday evening. I'm in the RAV4 this time, so this is a RAV4 talk, not a truck talk. And I have to admit, driving the RAV4 is like a plush Cadillac compared to my 20-year-old Tacoma. But bless that Tacoma, it just keeps running, so I'm gonna keep running her. All right. Things are getting more dangerous out there in our world. I know that's not a shock to most of you, but I'm going to go over some points here. I have a big warning for especially the women, but really for everyone. And some tips on how not to be an easy target, to be a tougher target, okay? These are really important, so stay with me on this. I also have a very good passage that I'm going to share that I believe you will really like. I enjoy reading this one. I really do, and I don't know if I've read this one before. May have, but it's been a while if I have, so stay tuned and check it out. All right. First, though, I saw some news where the debate Trump-Biden they're gonna debate. They've agreed to do this. I think two of them. The first one's going to occur, or supposedly occur, the end of June. I'm just gonna say I don't care. I really don't care. I'm not going to watch it. I watched their debate 4 years ago, and I don't need to watch this one because if you've been awake and living for the last 3.5 years, that's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. I don't need to watch any debate. I really don't. I don't care. So I just had to share that. Also saw where New York City, remember maybe a couple of months ago, maybe longer, may not be that long, I can't remember, but where some, let's say, folks who are in the country illegally jumped on some New York City cops down in New York City, and I forget exactly where, but anyway, down in the city, Times Square, I believe, and they were arrested. They jumped on and assaulted cops. They were arrested, and a story came out a couple of days ago that they were allowed to do a plea deal that will only have them in jail. They'll do jail time, but less than a year. Less than a year. And then they're just going to be freed. Free. Go. Now, what do you think that does? That just encourages more. That is not a deterrent. This soft on crime stuff is so widespread. We can only come to the conclusion from this that crime is going to increase. It's already increased, despite what the government data will try to tell you. We know better. But it's going to increase much more than what it is now because there's the lack of consequences to their actions. It pays for them to do it. There's no, the risk reward, the risk is low for them. It's low. So it's going to continue. So with that in mind, I was reading through an article. This was based on a study, I think back in 2016, to where they interviewed imprisoned felons who've had crimes where they assault, rob, rape, you name it. And the victims were mostly women. And they did a study on them and asked them, what are the traits, what made them decide who was an easy target, and also what made them pass on somebody and say, no, I'm not going to try anything on this person. I'm going to wait for the next person, or I'm going to pick somebody else that looks like an easier target. And it was very interesting, very interesting. Now, this was focusing on women characteristics, women as victims, but personally, I would also say this applies to men too, especially older men, elderly. I think everybody should take heed on these from this. But are you an easy target? You might be more so than you realize, but according to this study, they were saying that basically, if you give the impression of weakness, the impression that you're fragile. That makes you look like an easy target to predators. If you look unsure, if you have your arms crossed, and you look fearful, and you look timid, and you have your head down, you're not paying attention, you're an easy target. Now, what does a hard target look like? Women who walk straight, or men, I would say, you walk straight, your chin up, your back straight. You keep the pace, like if you're walking, like in a city, you're keeping pace with everyone, the main crowd. You're not standing out. You exude that air that you will put up a good fight if you mess with me. And this, the important thing too, is it didn't matter about the size. These predators said it didn't matter so much the size of the person, it's how they carried themselves. So if you're walking straight, if you're paying attention to where you're going, and you're not distracted, and you got your back straight, your chin up, you're looking around, you're keeping pace with everybody, you're taking normal strides, you're not standing out as looking weak, your chances are much lower that you're going to be attacked. Also, they said, who stands out as an easy target? If your stride, if you're walking, your stride is too big or too small for the size of your body. I know that sounds odd, but if you look awkward, if you're walking awkwardly, somebody that's injured, somebody very old, or just disabled and they're trying to walk, arms crossed or locked close to your body, somebody that's unaware of their surroundings, not paying attention, taking smaller steps, or walking at a slower pace than most everybody else. You're not keeping up with traffic. Your head is down. You're distracted. You're not paying attention to what's going on in your surroundings. Oblivious to your surroundings. Looking fearful, looking anxious. That makes you look weak. That makes you an easier target, a very high potential target. Again, regardless of body size, I also would extend this to men. If you walking with a purpose, and you're looking to where you're going, and you notice somebody is really watching you, look them dead in the eye, give them a look, and then keep going. Keep it moving. Keeping it moving seems to be the big thing with these guys when they were talking to them. It's more about body language than body size. Also, walking, being observant, and they're watching, they're sizing you up, and if you're observant, and just walking with just having a purpose and keeping it moving, you're not lingering, unsure, giving that air of low confidence, looking weak. That kind of sums up what they were talking about. But I think if we can keep these things in mind and just kind of think about how you do carry yourself and be honest with yourself, and if you need to improve, really make a conscious effort to improve that. I know when I'm walking around, and not that I'm a high potential target. You never know these days, but you never know. You hear about stories, especially in the bigger cities, to where people are just walking down the sidewalk and they get randomly sucker punched, especially women. Sometimes guys too. And this is just, it's not natural for us just to think that, especially us older folks, to think that we have to watch every single person that we are crossing, that we're walking by, that's going in the other direction, that they're just going to take a swing at us. But it's a potential. It's sad, but we have to pay attention. Where are their hands? Are their hands out? Are they where you can see them? Are they, that kind of thing? Are they watching you? Do they seem to be following you? If you're in a store, if you're in a grocery store, especially in a grocery store, and they're not pushing a cart or have a basket in their hand, and they just seem to be walking around with not much of a purpose, but they just keep kind of following you or trailing you, even following you from a distance. You need to really pay attention to that. And don't go back outside alone after you're done, after you got your stuff. That's when you're really vulnerable. And when you're in your vehicle, I see a lot of people just get in their vehicle and they stay in there looking at their phone, and they're by themselves. It's like, okay, you lock your car, but still pay attention to who's around you when you do that. I wouldn't do that. Just, if you're gonna check your phone, at least get out of that area, especially if you're in a crowded parking lot, a lot of people walking around and you don't know who's around there. Get out of that area. Check your phone later. Okay? It can wait. It can wait a few minutes. Gas stations. I'm going to fill the RAV4 up here with gas for Mrs. Dawg. Mrs. Dawg rarely has to pump gas. I would rather do it for her. But I know when I pump gas, I don't care where I'm at. Even when I'm in this little town that we live in. While it's pumping, I step to the back of the vehicle. And that way I'm looking all direct. I'm looking all around all the time. I see people put the gas in, and you clip it where it's going to run, it's filling up. And they get back in their car with the door open, looking at their phone, especially women. And nobody's with them. I'm like, come on. It'd be so easy to sneak up on them. I see it often, y'all. Anyway, pay attention out there. I have a good verse. I'm going to go to this passage. This is from Psalm 35. Somebody in the comments made a mention, and I forget who it is, made a mention of Psalm 35. I don't know if I've even read any of Psalm 35. Anyway, I really like it. Okay, Psalm of David. Contend, Lord, with those who contend with me. Fight against those who fight against me. Take up shield and armor. Arise and come to my aid. Brandish spear and javelin against those who pursue me. Say to me, I am your salvation. May those who seek my life be disgraced and put to shame. May those who plot my ruin be turned back in dismay. May they be like chaff before the wind, with the angel of the Lord driving them away. May their path be dark and slippery, and the angel of the Lord pursuing them. Amen. I don't know for sure. That sounds like maybe when David was running and hiding from Saul. I don't know. Might have been. But anyway, kind of makes me think of my video from yesterday. But anyway, share your thoughts on this. Let's be safe. Let's keep our situational awareness up there. I know times are tough. Economic times are tough. A lot of people, we're all talking about how things are and how and I believe we're in a silent depression right now. But we also have to keep aware of our surroundings for our physical safety as well, because the crime is only increasing. And I believe it's really going to ramp up between now and the end of this year. I really do. On a big scale, I'm afraid. So be safe. Stay close to Jesus. God bless you. I'll see you soon.